Welcome, dear viewers, to Question Time on Islam Live from the Ahlebait studios with your host Naveed Hussain. Alhamdulillah, with our Islamic scholar Syed Muhammad Musa. May Allah give him a long and happy life. Viewers, take this opportunity to call in, to text in any questions or anything you would like to share with our Islamic scholar. Our Islamic scholar is here for you this evening to answer any questions or any doubts that you may have. Inshallah, he will try his utmost best to answer your questions. Sayyidina, a very good evening to you, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum. I would like to start after thanking Allah for His countless bounties. His bounties are beyond our ability to count. We say, Alhamdulillah, thanking Allah as much as we can. And all what we can is much less than what Allah is entitled to be thanked. Then I would like to remind my respected brothers and sisters about a situation in our hearts when we feel something against someone. We think that someone has got bad feeling towards us. How to deal with this situation? Our divine leaders, the Prophet and his holy progeny, Ahlul Bayt, peace and blessing be upon him and them, told us that the way to cut off the bad feeling in the hearts of others towards you is to clean your own heart from any bad feeling towards them. So, you want the heart of people to be clean of bad feeling regarding you. Start with your own heart and remove any bad feeling in your heart towards others. A great teaching. If we follow it, then our hearts will not have bad feeling towards others. And Allah has the control over the hearts. Allah can make their hearts clean after we have cleaned up our own hearts regarding them. The mother-in-law, her feeling towards her daughter-in-law. The son-in-law, his feelings towards his mother-in-law. Brother, sister, friend, anyone to anyone. It happens for any reason, being competition, being conflict of interest, being anything. Mostly it is misunderstanding, as we believe that most of the problems between people are initiated by misunderstanding. People think something about someone and they have the freedom to keep on building on their thinking, which is itself doubtful. And people don't talk to others, but talk about others, which is wrong. We should not think anything wrong about others before talking to them frankly. So our imams are teaching us the way to clean up, clear the feelings of others against us, to start by cleaning our own hearts from any bad feeling regarding them. That is the teaching which will help us a lot and will help the harmony between the communities, between the families, between all our circles, to start from our hearts, cleaning our hearts, feeling good, loving people, not hating them, not keeping in our hearts bad thoughts about anyone. That is the starting point. May Allah clean our hearts. As you know, that the mu'mineen, the believers, will be in paradise clean-hearted, because Allah says in Quran, وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِمْ مِنْ غِلٍّ إِخْوَانًا عَلَى سُرُرٍ مُتَقَابِلِينَ. Allah will take away all the bad feelings which they had in their chests for others, and all of them will be clean-hearted. No one will have in his heart any bad doubt or bad feeling towards anyone else from them. They will be real brothers living together in peace and harmony. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Beautiful opening to tonight's show. Sayyidina, regarding obviously having these bad feelings about individuals, Sayyidina, quite commonly among people, we have issues where people they have too much, their mind is too much occupied with too many things. For example, they have anxiety, they have issues within their lives, in their houses, at work, etc. Sayyidina, according to Islam, what is the best way to clear your mind, especially when you're trying to sleep? For example, when you want to clear your mind of all kind of thoughts and just to peacefully sleep, what is the best remedy? Because sometimes your mind is preoccupied so much, you're unable to sleep, you're unable to have a healthy lifestyle. What's the best remedy for this?
The best is to rely on the person, or rely on the most merciful and who loves you more than anyone else, and who has the unlimited abilities to look after you and to solve your problems. Keep it on him. When he is inviting us to leave everything on him after doing our responsibility, after fulfilling our duties, after giving people their rights from us, then we should not worry. Keep it on Allah. Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salam said in the narration that if the whole world turns against someone, everyone, even the sky and earth, against someone, and that person keeps fearing God. Fattaqallah means fearing God. Allah will bring him a way out of every difficulty, and Allah will grant him rizq, sustenance from unexpected sources. So the key is being with Allah. If you are with Allah, you sleep with no tension, no anxiety, no worries. As we read in the Quran, that those who believe in Allah and rely on Allah and spend on the way of Allah, لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون, no fear on them and no sadness So this is the way out, to be with Allah and rely on Allah and leave it on Allah and sleep peacefully.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. A beautiful reminder for myself and all those who are watching, inshallah. Sayyidina, moving straight into our questions. Not long ago, we had the Shahada of Bibi Fatima Zahra Sanamullah alayha. Question is regarding where was Imam Ali alayhi salam? Maybe this was asked before, however, I'll repeat for the benefit of our listeners. Where was Imam Ali alayhi salam when the door fell on Bibi Fatima Zahra? Did he not do anything to help her?
Imam Ali alayhi salam was ordered by the Prophet clearly not to fight against those people who will take the government from him wrongly. He told him not to fight against them for the very simple reason that fighting against them will initiate civil war among Muslims. And Islam was surrounded by enemies, non-Muslim enemies and hypocrite enemies who are more dangerous. And many hypocrite enemies were surrounding Medina, as in Quran Allah said, وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْمَدِينَةِ, in Medina itself, وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْمَدِينَةِ مَرَدُوا عَلَى النِّفَاقِ, and from the people in Medina, people who are staunch in hypocrisy. So the Prophet did order Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali alayhi salam, that whatever happens, injustice, they take your rights away. Don't fight against them, because fighting against them will initiate a civil war which can lead to a collapse to the Muslim society and victory to the enemies of Islam. That's why Imam Ali alayhi salam did not fight against them. That is the reason.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, a question was asked before regarding, not too long ago in the news, we heard that a heart transplant was undertaken successfully from an animal, namely the pig, into a human. So apparently this was very successful. What does Islam say about this, to have organs for maybe animals to continue to live, etc.? What does Islam say about this?
Our leading maraja of taqlid, who are the highest in the Islamic knowledge, after the Imam alayhi salam, have studied such cases and said that it is permissible for the Muslim to implant in his body an organ from other animals, even if it is from pig. After all, that part, though it is najis, but when it becomes inside the body of the Muslim, they call it, it will become tahir, because it becomes part of the body of the Muslim. It will be transformed from najis to tahir. That's number one. And as you know that we are allowed to take blood from anyone, the Muslim who needs blood to save his life or for any medical important issue, he is allowed to take blood from anyone. Blood from Muslim, blood from non-Muslim, it makes no difference. After all, blood is blood. Every blood is najis. The blood of Muslim is najis, and the blood of non-Muslim is najis as well. So taking heart from a pig and planting it in the body of another man, being Muslim or non-Muslim, is permissible in Islam. Saving the life of any human being is more important than anything else. So the operation which has been mentioned in the media of planting a heart of a pig in a human being is not forbidden, not haram in Islam, but it is permissible.
Thank you very much indeed for that answer. So then back to, we talked about how to clear your mind, especially before you go to sleep. Question there, Assalamu alaikum. I am not getting a good sleep at night. How to get a good night's sleep? What does Islam say about this?
How to get good night's sleep? We have got in the teachings of the Prophet and Ahlebait, peace and blessing be upon all of them, many things to be done to get peaceful sleep. Number one, fulfilling your obligatories. You should not sleep when your obligatory namaz is not yet performed. Okay? You should not sleep when the right of someone is on your head and you are not willing to give it back to them. Don't sleep on a sinful act. If you have fulfilled your duties as far as the obligatory acts are concerned, then perform wudu. Perform wudu before going to bed. The hadith says that anyone performs wudu before going to bed will get the reward of the worship of Allah for the whole night. So perform wudu. This is number one. Number two, before you go to bed, recite Ayatul Kursi. Ayatul Kursi before going to bed is very, very important and very much useful. Number three, which is also very important, reciting Tasbih of Fatima alayhi salam, 34 times Allahu Akbar, 33 times Alhamdulillah, 33 times Subhanallah. The Tasbih of Fatima was being mentioned clearly by the Prophet Muhammad himself to his daughter Fatima alayhi salam. He has clearly told her as a gift that when you go to bed, recite 34 times Allahu Akbar, 33 times Alhamdulillah, 33 times Subhanallah. These are three. If you want to add, then you might add reciting Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas. That also will make your sleep more peaceful, inshallah.
Oh, thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. So the next question, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Do imams have authority of the universe and do they control the atoms? Is this a Shia belief? Please explain.
Do the imam have
authority of the universe? And do they have like control over the atoms in the universe?
Allah grants to his most humble servants extra powers, more than the usual people. Now, you want to travel somewhere. You cannot travel, but you need to go to the airport and take a flight, and it might take hours to reach somewhere. But because you are an ordinary person, when Allah wanted the Prophet Muhammad to travel to the 7 skies, he arranged for him by order of Allah to travel from Mecca to Baytul Maqdis, من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى, then from المسجد الأقصى to the sky, without airplane, without anything which usually we need to use when we travel. That is from Allah. We have got Hadith Qudsi. O my servant, obey me. I will make you then like me.
Subhanallah.
عبدي أطعني أجعلك مثلي أو مثلي تقول للشيء كن فيكون. Means the most humble servants of Allah are granted gifts from Allah. That gifts make them able to do things that no one else usually can do it. Isa alayhi salam was a humble servant of Allah, Jesus Christ. That's why Allah gifted him the ability to make the dead alive. وَتُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى بِإِذْنِي. Allah tells the Prophet Isa that you will make the dead alive by order of Allah. Allah gave Ibrahim gifts which made Ibrahim unharmed when he was in the fire. So no one can be unharmed when he is inside the fire. Every human being cannot do it. But because of the gift from Allah, Allah gifts his most humble servants extraordinary abilities. The infallible Imams from Ahlebait are the best human beings after the Prophet of Islam. And they are being gifted by Allah. And they use that gift whenever Allah wants them to use it. So we say that they are the most humble servants of Allah. They are not partners of Allah. They are the most humble servants of Allah. As we read in Quran, عباد مكرمون لا يسبقونه بالقول وهم بأمره يعملون. They are the most honored servants of Allah. They don't say anything without his permission. And they act only and only by his orders. So Ahlul Bayt are the most humble servants after the Prophet of Islam, and they were being gifted great, extraordinary gifts from Allah. They use it whenever Allah wants them to use it.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, the next question is regarding that I have heard that the Shias believe it is greater reward to visit Karbala than Makkah. Please, can you shed some light on this?
No doubt visiting Karbala is a great reward, but going to Mecca for the wajib Hajj is obligatory. Anyone who is able to perform Hajj, if he does not perform Hajj, despite of his ability, when he dies, he will not die as a Muslim. Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam told us in the narrations that anyone who did not perform Hajj, being able to do so, but for any reason, carelessness, not giving enough importance, when he dies, the angels will tell him, مت إن شئت يهوديا أو نصرانيا. Die if you wish as a Jewish or as a Christian, not as a Muslim. So no doubt is going for Hajj is one of the most important obligatories in Islam. After performing the wajib Hajj, still going for Hajj again and again is highly recommended. Going to the visitation of Imam Hussain alayhi salam in Karbala has got also great reward. And we don't say this or that, means we don't say we go to Karbala and leave Mecca, or we go to Mecca and leave Karbala. No, we try to perform Hajj, that is obligatory. After obligatory Hajj, recommended Hajj, then Umrah. Side by side, also we go to the ziyarat in Karbala, Mashhad, Najaf, Kazmin, Samarra. So both have got great reward.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. So the next question is, are we allowed to keep a cat in our house?
Yes, we are allowed to keep a cat in our house because cat is not najis animal. We don't have among all the animals any najis animal except only two, dog and pig. Only. Any other animal is not najis. So keeping a cat at home as a pet is permissible. But we have to be careful that the hair of the cat should not be on our cloth or body when we perform namaz. Salat, namaz, according to majority of the ulama, if hair of cat is on our body or cloth, there is a problem in our salah. So we have to clear and clean our body and cloth from hair, from the hair of the cat. That is the opinion or the verdict of majority. Still, we have got some ulama, but very few in number, who say it is okay if it is 1 or 2 or 3 hairs, not 10, 20, just 1 or 2 or 3, like that, little, very little. So according to the precaution, ihtiyat, precaution, we need to be sure that our cloth, our body has no hair of the cat before we perform salah.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Okay, Sayyidina, next question is regarding reciting the Holy Quran. Which is the best surah to recite for great reward? And why is it that why is the reward greater in one surah and not in other surah? So when the Holy Quran is all talking about Allah. And before you say that, Sayyidina, let's take the call. We have a caller with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. I would like to ask the Maulana a question.
Please go ahead.
Please.
Regarding what, brother, please?
Regarding Hajj. The question is, I recently lost my stepbrother due to ill health. And he basically he died before he could even do a Hajj.
Okay.
Will his soul do the Hajj instead because he had the niyat?
Okay. So can you just repeat the last part, please, brother? The last part you just
because of his niyat being to do Hajj.
But he passed away before. Okay.
He passed away, yeah, and he couldn't afford it before that, you see, because he didn't have so much money and he couldn't afford to go on Hajj. So he always wants to go.
Okay, so he had the intention of going Hajj, but unfortunately he passed away. So the question is, can someone do Hajj on his behalf?
Oh, somebody is doing it on his behalf, but is he still going to be, because I was just watching and he was saying if somebody doesn't do Hajj, they'd be asked to die as a Christian or a Jewish person. And I just want to clarify that.
No problem.
Well, you don't have to put me live on air. You could just put that question through.
Sure. Thank you so much indeed, brother. Thank you.
Okay. The hadith means a Muslim who was able to go for Hajj and neglects going and dies before going for Hajj. That person will be said, die if you wish as a Jewish or Christian. But it does not mean that any Muslim who did not go for Hajj will be the same. No. most of Muslims who could not afford to go for Hajj are not responsible. Millions of Muslims in many countries, especially in poor countries, they cannot, because they cannot afford it. It is expensive for them. Or they don't have passport, or they don't get a visa, or their health is not so good to go for Hajj, or whatever reason. Those who did not perform Hajj for a valid reason are not sinners. The sinner is that person who was healthy, fit, rich, having passport, visa, everything is easy for him, yet he did not take care and he ignored going for Hajj. That person will be facing that punishment. Now you told me about your step brother who passed away before going for Hajj. Was he able or not? If he was not able, then he is not a sinner. If he was able and now you send someone on his behalf, the punishment will be removed from him. When a person performs Hajj on his behalf, that will suffice his responsibility and will be enough for him, and then things with him will be in order, inshallah.
Inshallah. And Sayyidina, back to the question regarding the Quran and why some surahs are more rewarding than other surahs when the Quran is talking about Allah or generally.
No doubt that all the surahs are great and all the verses, ayat, are great. But Allah has made some surahs greater than others. The greatest surah in Quran is the surah which is obligatory on every Muslim to recite in every salah. Surah Al-Hamd. Out of 114 surahs in Quran, only one surah is obligatory on every Muslim to recite in every namaz, every salah. Al-Hamd. That's why it is called Ummul Kitab. And that's why the Prophet said, La salata illa bi Fatihatil Kitab. No salah is valid without reciting Surah Al-Fatiha. So the greatest is Surah Al-Fatiha. It has got the whole teachings of Islam concised in 7 verses. That's why it is the greatest surah in Quran, and reciting it is so great that you get the reward of reciting 2/3 of the whole Quran. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed. So that we'll take the next caller with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Please go ahead with the question, brother. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question to Ada.
Bismillah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Aga, you discussed this about the animals, dog and the pig is najis, but cat is permissible. Now, you have explained it quite well, actually, but there is another question which is probably I want to know. Is that the dog and the pig has got more benefits for our human beings? Because you explained it very well, because there is a heart or a valve of a pig can be operated into man's body, and that is fine. And the dog benefits are the dog helps many things, us in many things, like if there is a murder, to chase the murderer, or even helping the blind and everything. The benefits are much, much higher than the cat. Cat is only something which will just there, but if the benefits are not there, and if there is any problem, the cat will just run away. Whereas the dog will risk his life to save his master. So, I mean, how does it? I know it's the order of Allah, but there must be an answer to that thing. Can you please enlighten that? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Alaikum salam. You see, the wisdom behind creating dogs or pigs or snakes or rats or whales or any big or small being is best known to the Creator, Allah. Some people say that, why did Allah created the appendix in the human body? Because till now many doctors are unable to understand the benefit of that part in the human body. We say the Creator knows the wisdom. Our knowledge is so limited. We cannot compare our knowledge with his knowledge. We cannot claim that we can weigh things because our knowledge is so limited and his knowledge, Allah's knowledge, is unlimited. So why did Allah create the dog or the pig or any other animal? He knows things which you mentioned about the benefits of the dog. There might be more benefits, and the benefits of other animals, we don't know all the details. No one can say that he knows the details and the benefits of every animal or every tree or every plant. No, we are limited in our knowledge. We have to be realistic and humble, and we don't need to overcome our limit. So we say the Creator knows the best reason why did he create what he created, and we worship him, glorify him, obey him, submit to him, seek help and support from him, and we say Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Indeed, we have a caller with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, walaikum salam.
Please go ahead. Please, yes, please go ahead with your question.
Can I go ahead now?
Yes, please go ahead, sister. Yes.
Right.
Yes, sister. Wa alaikum salam, sister. Wa alaikum salam, sister. Wa rahmatullah. Yes, please.
I have two questions, Syed. One question is, it is a well-known, a fact now has become that once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful that when you make a niyat of something bad or something wrong, you're only sinned after you will conduct it practically. But if you make a good niyat for a good cause, your reward is granted there and then. Yes, for a good niyat or a good cause. Is it true though, if you make a good strong niyat, for example, when someone dies, you make a niyat, well, you know what, I will, for example, make a niyat that I will have all his prayers and fastings, done for him after, he's been buried. And then you get busy or you don't realize time and you don't carry that out. So does the reward for making that niyat for the marhum that I will get his namaz, qadar namaz and qadar fasting done for him, but yet they make this niyat and then later on either forget or either they don't manage to do it. So what is the actual fact behind that? Do you get rewarded for that good niyat, or you only get rewarded after you conduct that good niyat practically? And in general,
we have, sister, responding to your question, does the niyat to do good work gives us reward? The answer is yes, it does cause us to gain reward. The hadith says that when you do niyat of good act, you will get the reward of the niyat itself. Then if you implement the niyat, you will get 10 times reward.
I see.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Is that any other questions, sister? You said you had two questions.
Second question.
Second
question. Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Second question. In a marriage, if a husband is habitual drinking at home, like weekends or at occasions, he's habitual drinking alcohol, and there are also other small and large marital problems, is the wife very fair and doing halal thing to leave him, to break the marriage on that ground because she's sick and tired of it, or because just knowing that he's drinking regularly at home, or should she not go for divorce for that? Because after drinking regularly, the husband obviously, likes to indulge in physical life as well. So is she right to leave him and to file for a divorce because she's tired of that and she believes that it's got wrong side effects? Or is it okay for her to try hard on it?
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed, sister.
If the husband is not a good husband and the wife is a good wife, what should she do? We say that if she can tolerate, then she should try her best to tolerate. But if the harm from the husband is intolerable, she cannot, then she will not be forced to continue when she cannot tolerate the injustice done to her by her husband. Islam gives such wife full right to seek divorce. And if he insists on doing wrong and not letting her go on her own life by divorcing her, then she has the right to refer to the Islamic authority, the marja of taqleed, or his deputy, to ask for her rights. Then the marja of taqleed will go through a procedure. Number one, to inform the husband that he must fulfill all his duties towards his wife. If he is unable or not willing to give her all her rights, then he should give her divorce and let her go. If he refuses both options, then the marja of taqleed or his deputy will issue the divorce for such wife. That is the process. That if the harm is not easy, not tolerable at all, but if she can tolerate, great ladies like Asiya bint Muzahim had a tyrant husband, Fir'aun, but she tolerated and she was patient and tolerant, and Allah gave her a great reward in the paradise. So in one side we say that the wife should tolerate as much as she can, but the harm should not be on her religion. Means if the husband is tyrant and he wants to force her to drink alcohol with him, no. Or he wants to force her to go out without hijab, then no. Mean the wife should not lose any of her religion because of anyone else. As far as her religion is safe, then the harm is on her livelihood. Of course, if she is safe in her religion, his bad behavior, bad akhlaq, bad manners, whatever wrong he does, she has to tolerate as much as possible. We don't say no limit, no, because she is after all a human being. Like him, might be better than him because he's doing wrong and she is not doing wrong. We say in principle, if tolerant if tolerance is not possible, then there are ways in Islam to get such victim or victimized wife out of this situation.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. So the question, if we forget to recite tashahhud in salah, can we do sajda sahu for that?
Yes, if we forget to recite tashahhud in salah, then immediately after we finish salah, we say Allahu Akbar. When we finish, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, even before Allahu Akbar. When we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, then we recite tashahhud, which we have forgotten. And after reciting the tashahhud, then do 2 sajda of sahu, which is going sajda and saying in the sajda, Bismillah wa billah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Then sitting, then back again to sajda, Bismillah wa billah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Then sitting and saying tashahhud and salam.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Next question, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
We are pensioners entitled to claim for housing allowance, but our house belongs to our sons and they are not charging us the rent. Can we still be allowed to claim the allowance when we are not paying any rent to our sons?
Muslims should always be honest. Muslims should not do any wrong against the law of the land. So when you are not paying any rent, how can you claim money from the government to pay rent? You are not paying any rent. So Muslims should be always honest, truthful, straightforward. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed, Syed. The next question, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
We'll take a call, in fact. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Can I put the
yes, please, brother.
Yes, please.
Assalamu alaikum to everyone.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I would like to refer ayat number 62 in Surah Baqarah. If you can please throw some light and information about the group of people who are mentioned in Surah Baqarah, ayat number 62, whether they will end up in heaven or where position. Because being a Muslim, we have to do so many things to attain that position. But this ayah refers to the Jews, the Christians, and the Sabians. Now, is it historically referring to the people at the earlier time? Are these people referring to the current generation? So if you can throw some light on that ayah, Maulana.
Simply, it's understanding any Quranic verse can never be possible without understanding other Quranic verses in the same subject. No one can claim that Quran says this in this verse before going to other verses on the same subject. The matter of the other religions, Jews, Christians, Sabi'ah, mentioned in the Quran. If you take one verse, you cannot understand the Quranic orders unless you read other verses in the same subject, then you will know. I'll tell you the meaning of this verse. Those followers of the previous religious groups, Jews, Christians, Sabi'ah, and others, those who followed their prophets in that time are safe, la khawfun alayhim, safe, and they don't, because they followed their own prophets. That does not mean those who are now, because now when Allah sent the last and final and greatest prophet, Allah said, Inna ad-deena 'inda Allah al-Islam. Definitely, religion in front of Allah is Islam. فَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. Anyone who takes religion other than Islam, it will not be accepted from him. وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And in the day of judgment, he will be from the losers. So, understanding the subject of faith of Islam and other previous religious groups needs going through all the verses in the subject. This verse says what you have quoted for those who followed their prophets in their own times, not today. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Next question, Assalamu alaikum. Please, can you explain what Sufism is and who the Sufis are? Also, can you explain what the phrase Allahu means, which the Sufis recite?
This question needs quite good time to answer. How many minutes do we have?
So we just got 2 minutes remaining.
Can I request you to postpone this question till next week? Inshallah, we take it in the beginning. Inshallah, we'll give details. Inshallah ta'ala.
No problem.
And I don't prefer to give answer which is not complete. So let us wait till next week, inshallah, if we remain alive till then.
Inshallah.
Other question, please.
Yeah, finally, one last question, Sayyidina, is in Dua Faraj, why do we say Allahumma kulle waliyyakal instead of Allahumma kun le waliyyakal? If you make the noon silent, then kulle means all of your representatives, and kun is please be for your representative, which is the right way. And
no. Yes, please continue.
Sorry, and sa'a, which is now at this hour, but again we say sa'at, which means watch. Can you please tell us which is the right way?
No, I mean, the person who put this question, I think his knowledge in Arabic is not too much. In Arabic, I mean, when we say Allahumma kun li waliyik.
Yeah.
In Arabic, when noon comes with lam, means noon means an, lam means al, like al for London, noon for November. In Arabic, noon and lam, when they are together, we call it idgham. Idgham, we don't mention the noon. We say Allahumma kun li waliyik. It means kun li waliyik. But because of the recitation way in Arabic, noon and lam is recited as kun li waliyik by idgham. So that is no problem at all. About في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة, not في كل ساعات. So I request the gentleman who put this question to talk to any scholar who knows Arabic well to explain to him. We are praying in this dua, Allahumma kun li waliyik, not kulli waliyik. It is not kaf lam, not kul, not kul. It is kun li waliyik. But because of noon and al, idgham means we say kulli waliyik. It is noon. So it is not kul, not kul. Kul means all. If you speak to any alim who knows Arabic well, he can explain to you that the meaning is not what you thought.
Thank you very much indeed. And with those beautiful words, Sayyidina, we have come out to the end of the show this evening. I'd like to thank you, to all those who have sent the messages through, to continue calling in and asking questions with our Islamic scholar. Sayyidina, thank you very much for your answers this evening. Keep us in your du'as. And I'd like to ask all our viewers to keep our Islamic scholar, myself, the Ahlebait team, who are working tirelessly throughout each and every day.